You just woke up in zero gravity with no spacesuit on. You're still breathing. So, is every microorganism and parasite that hitched a ride on you? Your eyes sting as they adjust to the dim red lights filtering through cracks around the door, and the air smells of sweat and stale oxygen. It's like being in an overused gym locker room, only with less ventilation. Your head feels heavy despite the lack of gravity, and your heart races as you realize just how exposed you are. The cold metal beneath your back has soaked through your shirt, and it's chilling to know that even if this were Earth, hypothermia would be setting in fast. But here's what nobody expected. As panic sets in, an alarm starts buzzing. You reach for the intercom, but your hand floats past it helplessly, like trying to turn off a fire alarm with slippery fingers. You start drifting towards them, hoping to find some clues about what is happening. The question remains, can you survive this exposure long enough for help to arrive? But there's an even bigger mystery: what will happen to your body as the minutes tick by without protection? The thought lingers in your mind like a forgotten emergency code. You need answers, but time is running out, and that cold metal wall feels less comforting by the second. You need answers, but time is running out, and that cold metal wall feels less comforting by the second. The airlock door hisses as it starts to shut. You're trapped in here, the only sound your own ragged breathing echoing off the walls. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the oxygen levels start dropping on the readout next to you. You try reaching for the comms unit, but it's too far. Your hand brushes against cold metal, and your fingers grip onto the emergency air supply, half a breath at most. But here's the thing. You have two options: sit there like a statue, or start thinking about what to do next. You can't see outside the window anymore. No Earth, no stars, just blackness and an eerie sense of abandonment. It's like being stuck in a phone booth, except this one is floating 200 miles above anything recognizable as home. There's a noise now, a faint whine that grows louder with each passing second. The airlock must be cycling through some bizarre malfunction. It's like being stuck in an endless elevator ride, but without the music or snacks to distract you. And just when you thought this was bad, your eyes start playing tricks on you. Did you see a shadow moving outside? You check your suit again, fingers tracing over the airlock keycard, dangling from your neck like a charm bracelet for astronauts. It's useless now. At 1T, open the door without power to run it. You could try breaking the window and jumping into space like a bungee jump in reverse, but that's just an idea that makes you feel dizzy and cold all over again. There is no sign of help coming anytime soon, if ever. The rest of your crew is probably on another mission or has been evacuated already, leaving you to face this alone. And just when you thought isolation was an option, now it feels like a cruel joke played out in a vacuum. But here's the thing. You got to keep thinking. Your mind is the best tool you have now, and every second counts. So what do? Panic or problem solve? It's like playing chess with yourself, but with life or death stakes instead of plastic pieces. And just when everything feels hopeless, something catches your eye on the far side of the room. There's an airlock bypass valve. You haven't used it since training simulations. No one would ever think to check here for a solution. This is where things get interesting. You start crawling towards it now, every movement deliberate and slow. The cold metal bites into your skin, but you ignore the pain. It's just a distraction from what really matters right now. As you reach the bypass valve, you can feel your heart racing, but there's also a strange calm settling over you. You twist it open. Your hand feels numb and clumsy as it turns the mechanism. There's a hiss of escaping air, followed by silence. But here's what nobody expected. Suddenly, your body starts to feel as if it's being stretched and twisted into impossible shapes. It's like yoga with demons. But here's the thing. Why is this happening? You realize that the air around you feels cooler than a freezer on the coldest day of winter, but your body isn't getting any colder. Instead, It's as if all warmth and life are being sucked out of you. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, your vision starts to blur. But then comes the twist. Everything changes when you start feeling pain in places where there should be no sensation at all, like your lungs, which feel like they're being crushed by 1,000 elephants. You wonder if maybe it's just your mind playing tricks on you, the oxygen deprivation making everything seem worse than it is. Maybe this is some cosmic version of a panic attack. But probably not. The pain is too real, too specific. You try to think logically. You'd expect the lack of oxygen to be the first thing to hit you. But it's not just about the air you're missing out on, is it? Maybe it's about something else entirely. You consider two possibilities. Either your body is reacting to the extreme cold, or perhaps, against all odds, your heart and lungs are trying to fight back even though there's no air for them to use. And that's when you realize it's not just your organs struggling. It's every cell in your body rebelling against the vacuum of space. You start wondering if this is some kind of cosmic hazing ritual, or maybe a test to see how long humans can survive without basic needs. But here's the thing. Despite all your theories and guesses, there is something else happening that nobody could have predicted. Your body is breaking down, yes, but in ways no scientist has ever seen before. And just when you think things couldn't possibly get any more surreal, the pain begins to recede. But your body feels heavier than it ever has. What is happening next? Are you being rescued, or is this some kind of final curtain call? Only time will tell, but for now, you're stuck floating in a cosmic twilight zone. But probably not. Because here comes another wave of discomfort that makes all previous sensations seem like nothing more than a warm-up act. And so, you wonder what will happen next? Will it get better or worse before someone finds you? Only time and space will tell. But probably not. Because here comes another mystery, one that could change everything. Congratulations, you just floated out into the great beyond. You can see Earth shrinking in the distance like a tiny blue marble. But here's the thing. Your body is starting to freak out big time. Your skin starts tingling, and it feels like static electricity is zapping through every nerve ending. You can almost see little sparks dancing across your fingertips. But just when you think the worst part has happened, it gets worse. You try to move a finger, but it's as if your body is shutting down one limb at a time. It's like trying to use a robot arm controlled by an old dial-up modem. But here's the thing. You're not just feeling weak. You're losing grip on reality. You open your mouth to scream, but no sound comes out except a high-pitched whine. It's like trying to shout underwater with a laryngitis-induced buzzsaw stuck in your throat. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, your vision starts playing tricks on you. Suddenly, everything looks like it's moving in slow motion, but only certain parts of your field of vision. It's like watching a movie where the editing is done by a drunkard with a strobe light. But here's what nobody expected. You're about to face something even more terrifying than all this chaos. Your heart feels like it's skipping beats, and every breath is harder than the last. You'd think that after all of this, there would be no way for things to get any worse. Maybe they could turn around, or at least stay stable. Actually, it was neither. You feel like everything is spinning out of control, and then the real kicker hits. Your body starts reacting in ways that defy all logic. It's like your cells are having their own little rebellion party without your consent. But probably not. Everything changes when you realize there's one more twist to this cosmic nightmare. Your body is trying to adapt to something that shouldn't exist. It's as if nature itself has thrown the rulebook out the window, just for you. You're left wondering how much worse it could possibly get. But before we reveal what happens next, let's pause for a moment. Because in this story, the real horror is yet to come. Congratulations, you've just been hit by a meteorite-sized case of the hiccups. Only replace that with space frostbite. Your skin is now an eerie shade of blue. Your blood vessels contracting tighter than your mom's rules about staying indoors during thunderstorms. You'd think you were just cold. Maybe you're starting to shiver uncontrollably, like you accidentally opened the fridge door with your bare hands and then forgot to close it. But here's the thing. You're not just freezing. You're about to undergo some serious changes in how your blood behaves. You might wonder if this is all part of a secret NASA training program that nobody knew about, where survival means becoming a human iceberg and turning your blood into slushy popsicles on demand. But just when you thought it couldn't get worse, the real horror begins. You'd think that these cryoprotectants would be your salvation. Maybe you're imagining yourself as some futuristic superhero with a suit made entirely out of antifreeze. However, it's not so simple. You can't feel your fingers or toes anymore, and the only sound is your own breathing echoing in the silence of space. But here's what nobody expected. You might think this means the worst is over. Maybe you're hoping that turning into space popsicles will somehow protect your body from even deeper damage. However, everything changes when you start to see flashes before your eyes like fireworks without the pretty parts. The only thing stopping it from being completely dark is that everything seems to be spinning out of control. But here's the twist. This isn't just about seeing stars in a literal sense. This is also about your body's last-ditch effort to stay alive, fighting against the cold by shutting down non-essential functions like your mind. You're still there, but it's as if you're watching everything happen from behind a thick, foggy window. You can feel your heart slowing down, each beat feeling heavier than the last. Your body is doing everything it can to keep you alive by conserving energy. But just when you think that's all there is to it, the real question now isn't if you'll survive, but what comes next in this never-ending nightmare. What happens after the cold takes hold? Will you be rescued or forever lost in the vast emptiness? As the stars above seem to twinkle with an eerie light, it's clear that the worst has yet to come. And that S when everything changes. Suddenly, there's no sound but the faint hum of your own heartbeat echoing in your helmet. It's like being inside a silent movie, every movement slow motion and heavy with meaning. The first thing you notice is the cold. Not just any cold, but an ice so deep it seems to seep into your bones and freeze your soul. It's as if someone has poured liquid nitrogen over your entire body, freezing every cell in place. But here's what nobody expected. The cold isn't just a sensation. It's an alarm clock, waking up parts of you that were never meant to be touched. Your body starts to betray itself, trying to conserve heat in the most primal way possible. Your eyes start to water from the lack of humidity, and you feel a strange pressure building behind them. But it's not just physical distress. The isolation starts to take its toll too. It's like being marooned on an island with only yourself for company. However, as your body begins to shut down in a desperate attempt to survive, you might wonder about the hidden connection between this cosmic cold and the warmth of home. It's like being trapped in a freezer, but longing for the comfort of a heated bed. The starkness of space mirrors the intimacy of Earth. Both are worlds that can give life or take it away. And perhaps that's the strangest part, not that you're here now, floating alone in a void, but that somewhere out there, someone remembers you were ever this close to the stars. It's like being erased from history, but still leaving an imprint on it. You blink awake in your cozy bedroom, the sound of morning birds outside reminding you how lucky you are. Just as space is a reminder that we're small in the grand scheme, waking up to birdsong tells us we're part of something bigger too. But here's what nobody expects. You'll forget about this cosmic close call soon enough, just like you've forgotten so many dreams from yesterday. The real magic isn't in surviving space, but in finding wonder in our everyday existence. And that's a thought worth keeping with you until tomorrow. So go ahead and cherish your morning cup of coffee or tea, depending on how woke you are, because it's not just hot, it's an anchor to reality. And in this moment, everything feels right again.